Right now, your brain is being programmed, not by you, by your habits, your environment, your fears, and every thought you repeat without questioning. Here's the terrifying part. If you keep living the same day over and over again, your future has already been decided. Most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because their minds were programmed to accept average. Every distraction, every excuse, every moment of comfort strengthens the invisible chains around your potential. But neuroscience has revealed something extraordinary. Your brain is never finished. It is constantly changing. Every decision you make, every habit you repeat, every emotion you feed is physically reshaping your mind, which means your future isn't fixed. Your identity isn't permanent. Your limits aren't real. The version of yourself you hate can disappear. The version you've always dreamed of becoming can be created, but only if you're willing to destroy the old programming. Today, you are not watching another motivational video. Today, you are rewriting your operating system. When this video ends, you won't simply feel inspired. You'll think differently, act differently, live differently. You'll be rewired forever. Take a moment. Look around the room you're sitting in. Nothing seems unusual. Everything feels normal. But inside your mind, millions of electrical signals are firing every second. Every memory, every fear, every habit, every belief is connected through pathways built over years of repetition. You weren't born believing you weren't good enough. You learned it. You weren't born afraid of failure. You practiced it. You weren't born addicted to distraction. Your brain adapted to it. This is how the human mind works. It doesn't judge what is good or bad. It only strengthens what you repeat. If you complain every day, your brain becomes efficient at complaining. If you procrastinate every day, your brain builds stronger pathways for procrastination. If you constantly doubt yourself, your subconscious begins treating doubt as reality, and after enough repetition, it no longer feels like a habit. It feels like your personality. This is why people say, "That's just who I am." But that's one of the biggest lies ever told. You are not your habits. You are not your fears. You are not your past. You are simply the result of repeated patterns, and patterns can be changed. Every successful person you admire didn't receive a different brain. They built different pathways. One disciplined decision, repeated thousands of times, became confidence. One difficult workout, repeated for years, became strength. One courageous action, repeated again and again, became leadership. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people isn't intelligence, it's programming. And today, for the first time, you're becoming aware of the code that's been running your life, because once you see the code, you can finally rewrite it. Most prisons have walls. This one doesn't. No bars, no locks, no guards. Yet millions of people will spend their entire lives trapped inside it without ever realizing it exists. The prison is invisible, and it's built from one simple belief. I can't. Those two words have destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. I can't start. I can't change. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I'm too late. Listen carefully. Every time you repeat those words, your brain accepts them as instructions. Your subconscious doesn't argue, it obeys. It begins searching for proof that you're right. If you believe you're weak, your mind will notice every moment of weakness. If you believe you're unlucky, your brain will ignore every opportunity. If you believe success belongs to someone else, you'll never recognize the doors opening in front of you. This is called confirmation. The brain filters reality to protect the identity you've created. That's why changing your life feels so difficult. You're not fighting the world, you're fighting years of mental programming. Think about a circus elephant. When it's young, it's tied to a small wooden stake. It pulls, it struggles, it tries to escape. Eventually, it gives up. Years later, that same elephant has enough strength to rip the stake out of the ground in seconds, but it never tries. Not because it can't, because it believes it can't. Now ask yourself, how many invisible ropes are holding you back? How many limits exist only because you've accepted them as truth? How many opportunities have you ignored simply because your old identity whispered, "That's not for people like us"? The greatest breakthrough of your life begins the moment you question the story you've been telling yourself. Maybe you were never trapped. Maybe you were only convinced that you were. And if a belief can be learned, it can also be unlearned. This key is where freedom begins. Before you leave, I want you to remember one thing. The life you've been living until today does not have to be the life you live tomorrow. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Every habit that once controlled you was built through repetition, which means it can be destroyed through repetition too. The person you become next year won't be decided by luck. It won't be decided by talent. It won't be decided by motivation. It will be decided by the choices you make when nobody is watching. Every morning you wake up, you have two options: return to the person you've always been, or become the person you've always admired. One choice, repeated every single day, can completely rewrite your future. So stop waiting, stop doubting, stop asking for permission. The world doesn't need another person living below their potential. It needs someone who finally decided to wake up, someone who refused to stay average, someone who chose discipline over comfort, courage over fear, growth over excuses. Starting today, protect your attention, control your emotions, master your habits, and never let the old version of yourself make another decision for your future. Because from this moment forward, you are no longer the person who clicked on this video. You are someone with a new standard, a new mindset, a new identity. And if you stay consistent, one day, people won't recognize who you've become, not because you changed your face, but because you transformed your mind. Remember this, your brain is always listening, so make sure the voice it hears is one that builds greatness, not fear, not excuses, not doubt. This is where your new life begins. This is the moment you became rewired forever.